guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Deep Prep. This is our last week in the Italian series and we're going to be making a really simple sauce, but a classic one, Puttanesca. Puttanesca is a tomato-based sauce and it's kind of something that you can put whatever you want in, but the version I'm doing is pretty classic, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at our ingredients. Some tomatoes.
Some anchovies.
Kalamata olives.
Capers.
Got some fresh basil. Couple of cloves of garlic.
There's some cute little shallot. The spaghetti. My favorite part. So the Parmesan cheese.
So the first thing we need to do, Avalon, to make our Puttanesca, we have to make some marinara sauce. So first off, we've got 2 cloves of garlic. We've got about 15 to 20 leaves of fresh basil. San Marzano tomatoes. Now it's really important that you use a good quality crushed tomato because it's really the base for our sauce. So first off, Avalon, we need to crush the garlic.
I got my garlic smasher.
Perfect.
Nasty skin.
Now we're going to just give this garlic a nice chunky rough chop. That looks good enough. So now, Avalon, we're just going to pick all the leaves off the stem.
Does this make you an anti-Stemite?
That's the stupidest thing I've heard all week. Right, so now, instead of chopping this up, we're just going to give it a nice tear. Rip the leaves up and put them in here for our marinara. Okay, Avalon, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some olive oil. You want to use a good amount here because that's going to help flavor our sauce. So we turned it up to medium-high. I'm going to wait for this oil to get a little bit hot.
Oil nice and hot. Let's dump in the garlic and basil. Now we have to wait till this garlic get a little bit of color. Sprinkle some salt in. If you don't hear that signal, the pan is not hot enough. Our garlic has a nice color on it. Add our tomatoes.
So the key to making a good marinara is after you've added your tomato sauce, it needs to cook down for at least 20 minutes on low heat, and that's going to bring out the sweetness in the tomatoes and make for a really rich and flavorful sauce. So now that we've got our marinara sauce simmering back there on the stove, we're going to get the ingredients ready to actually make the Puttanesca. So we're going to start with these Kalamata olives, and we're just going to give these a rough chop. So I'm going to use about 5 anchovies here.
5 anchovies?
Yeah. And into that same bowl we're going to toss our capers. We're just going to leave those whole. And finally we're going to use 1 shallot. I'm just going to take the top off here, cut it in half, peel the skin off. We're just going to take our knife, come across the shallot, cut it like this, and then dice it.
Spaghetti in your face.
In my what?
Spaghetti in your face.
Alright, so let's add a bit of olive oil to the pan, probably about a tablespoon and a half. So our pan's nice and hot, we're going to add the shallots, olives, anchovies, and capers.
Whoa. Go on top. On me.
So the shallots are nicely cooked. We're just going to deglaze with a little bit of red wine. Make sure you cook all the alcohol out of that. And now we're going to add the marinara. And all we need is about 2 scoops here. We're just going to give this a little taste for salt. We've got a lot of salty ingredients in there, so we probably shouldn't add much, but let's just give it a taste. That's perfect.
Let's put our spaghetti in.
So I like to use dried spaghetti for Puttanesca because it gives a really nice tooth to the dish, but if you want you can use fresh pasta like we did in some previous videos, and I'll share that link with you guys in the description. Alright, so now just take your spaghetti and drop it right into the sauce we made. Make sure and get some of that pasta water in there to loosen it up a bit because our sauce is reduced. Don't eat without me, dude. The last thing I'm gonna do is grate some Parmigiano Reggiano over the top of this, and we're ready to eat.
Oh, don't forget me. Give me that tea, Dad.
All right, let's give it a taste. I really love this dish because the anchovies and the olives give it some super duper savory flavor. And if you wanted to, you could actually leave the anchovies out and it would be totally vegetarian. Delicious. Spaghetti monster!